Welcome, Valpo basketball fans, to another edition of Valpo Basketball Weekly, brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute. I'm Aaron Levitt, and joining me today, the head coach of the Valpo women's basketball program, Mary Evans. Coach Evans, thanks for joining me today.
No problem. I felt like we had a nice weekend together, Aaron.
We're one quarter of the way through MVC play, and as you referenced there, the last weekend on the road at Murray State and Belmont. Started conference play with a win over SIU at home, and then the schedule really hasn't done the team any favors. You got to play who they put in front of you, but four consecutive games against top 100 teams on the road is a going to be a tough stretch for any team. And just what have you learned about the squad over these last couple weekends of challenging games?
I think I've learned that they can compete. I think for us, it's about being consistent, but I think throughout all four games, there were stretches where we really competed and played well against these teams on the road, which is difficult. I think I learned that this team can bounce back. We had, I would say, a poor performance at UNI. We bounced back and I thought played a pretty good game against Drake in the second game. We were a little disappointed again with our performance at Murray State on Friday. We were able to have a good conversation, a good prep, and then they came out and they really battled against Belmont at their place yesterday. So I think this team's got a lot of resiliency, and I think they're competitive, and I think they care about each other deeply. And I think that if we can figure out how to improve in the consistency part of things and doing our job possession after possession, and taking points in a game where we face adversity and getting through that adversity together. If we can figure out how to do that better and continue to grow in those areas, I'm confident this team, if they can figure out how to be consistent, can compete in this league, whether we're at home or on the road.
You look at Sunday's effort versus Belmont, the team with the best net in the Valley. Could be easy to throw in the towel down 13 after one quarter. The team didn't really battled well despite struggling, shooting the ball, got to within six in the fourth quarter. What does it mean to see that kind of fight from the team in a game where, okay, the points aren't coming easy like you might hope from the 3-point line, but able to stick with it and battle against one of the Valley's top teams?
Yeah, it was great. And I think the thing that we loved about it even more was that they did it together. It was a collective effort. Like we defended them as a group of five. We played offense as a group of five. They were very coachable. The first quarter, a lot of it came down to some communication breakdowns and losing a couple, or not a couple, one of their shooters that didn't want to get shots off. And I thought they handled the coaching at the media timeout about that. And then you saw them come out and try to be a better communicating team and collectively know where that shooter was and fly around and ball pressure and do the things that we asked them to do. And that's the exciting part to see. When you have a team that's coachable, that's willing to do what the coaching staff asks, it's willing to play together, you're going to always keep yourself in ball games. And, we beat them in a lot of areas. We beat them in second chance points. We beat them on points off of turnovers. We did a great job taking care of the ball yesterday. And we competed with points in the paint. And it's just one of those games where our shots didn't fall. And if those shots fall, that could be a completely different outcome.
You're playing conference play this year, obviously, without your starting point guard, Raven Ray Redmond, lost for the season due to injury at the end of non-conference play. How have your other point guards and Moore and Fiona stepped up, and then the team as a whole to kind of fill that void without Raven out there on the court?
Yeah, I think Fiona and Moore have done a good job of stepping up on the offensive side and leading the team and being able to get us into offense and understanding how we want to play and kind of controlling tempo and dictating pace. And I think collectively the whole team has really stepped up. I don't think people realize how many loose balls and 50-50 balls Raven got to. And I think collectively everybody's trying to step up in that area. Some of those longer rebounds that she was getting as a point guard, some of other guards are really stepping up and getting those things. So it's been a collective effort. And I think, both players were ready to go. And they've got to keep growing and understanding what we do. I think Ray had a little bit of a head start in understanding our philosophy and what we want to do offensively. And both of them have worked hard at catching up, but they've got some ways to go. But they're getting in and they're putting in the work. And I think Ray's a great leader as well, and I think she gets on the phone with them. She's FaceTiming us, and we're FaceTiming her, and she's staying a part of this team and staying connected and continuing to encourage her teammates to play hard and to fight, and that's great leadership for a kid who's going through a pretty tough injury and a pretty painful rehab.
The court relationships are important as well, especially with your alums. Got the chance yesterday. Julie Walker from the class of 2002 brought a big group to the Belmont game. Just what does it mean to you, the importance of connecting with alums and kind of keeping them connected with the players of today?
Yeah, we've really tried to do a good job with that, and Kaylin Speedy on my staff does a fantastic job getting a newsletter out to them monthly, and we've had some events where we've been able to bring people back to campus. And Julie's someone who hasn't been able to get back to those. She's a successful businesswoman and doesn't have a lot of time maybe to get outside of the Nashville area, and it worked out this year where we got to go back to Nashville again. And she reached out and said, "Hey, I'm bringing about 25 people to the game," and I was so excited to have the opportunity to meet her. And she told us a lot of them were going to be young girls, including her daughter, who are interested in basketball and have started playing basketball at a young age. And that was great to have the support in the stands, but like it was even better for our young women after playing a tough game and a tough weekend to be able to go up there and to give back and to talk with those young girls and to impact them. And at one point they were young girls and they were impacted by college basketball players that kind of showed them what their dream could become. And hopefully we were a little bit of that for those young girls yesterday.
Well, after back-to-back weekends with lengthy road trips, it's your own bet at home for a couple weeks here. The next three games, you got a couple home games here this weekend, and then the UIC road game next weekend. So just a day trip there. How nice
Yeah.
is it, one, to not be on a bus for a long period of time, but two, get the chance to play at home here this weekend?
Yeah, it's exciting. We don't have a lot of opportunities in the Valley this year to play home games where our student body is going to be here. So I'm excited that we're going to have the students back and hopefully we'll get a good bit of support out from them. And it's always fun to be back in the ARC and to have our atmosphere with our community supporting us and our students supporting us. And it'll be two tough games. Illinois State's a very talented team, very talented offensively, strong defensive team. Bradley's probably one of the best defensive teams in the conference right now, and are holding people under 50 or 60 points. So it's going to be a battle like every game in the Valley, but it'll sure feel good to be home. And I'm sure our players appreciate being in class, and it'll be nice to spend 2 weekends in the Chicagoland locale.
Well, those home games this weekend at the Arc, Friday night, 6 p.m. against Illinois State, Sunday afternoon, 1 p.m. against Bradley. If you can't make it out to the Arc, both of those are on ESPN Plus. Coach Evans, thanks for joining me today. Good luck this weekend.
All right. Thanks, Aaron.
This has been Valpo Basketball Weekly, brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute.